Where my Stantler mains at, boys? Oh man, that whole Stantler movement that I'm seeing online in social media is definitely a one-of-a-kind experience that I'm witnessing right now. Anyway, my name is KG Prestige, and welcome everyone back again for another week of, you already guessed it, the PokePod World Podcast, where me and my pals gather around to go and talk about things regarding this past week. Of course, the episode had released. We had new information regarding Pokemon Day, which is pretty surprising given the context that's going to be in there, and a lot of other stuff. So I hope you guys look forward to our discussion for tonight. Yeah, the Wonderful 101 Kickstarter, which, by the way, got completed, if I'm correct. It managed to successfully get into the Nintendo Switch and PC, as well as the PlayStation 4, which is great news for fans to try out the game. It is a one-of-a-kind game, without a doubt, that was available on the Nintendo Wii U, and thankfully this movement that's going on right now will hopefully open up more opportunities for people to try out the upcoming Wonderful 101 remake. Yeah, the Stantler, that weird-ass Pokemon that no one seems to really care for, except thankfully, due to Go in the anime, Stantler has become a thing. So we'll talk about Stantler in just a bit. So let me go and hop into the call, and we will begin our discussion for the night. So hope you guys sit back, relax, and enjoy the shenanigans. Boop. Did thou hear me well? I hope you do, because I don't hear you. That would suck. Yeah, I definitely do not hear you, buddy. Hold on a second. You know what's gonna suck? You know what would really suck? If this thing decided to go again and put you in like a different... Yeah, that would... Hold on a second. Let me try this real quick. I would be mad if it decided to pull that stunt off again. Yep, it's doing that again. Oh, goddamn. I see that TSS here is talking. For some reason, it's not being picked up on my thing, though. And that's concerning, of course, because that's something we never want to go through. Let me go real quick. Hello? Nope. Hello? Still nothing. I don't know if it's just you.
Is it not working or what?
Now you're back. Okay, now you're talking.
Okay, that was weird. Probably because of the fucking the Discord server that this is on.
Yeah, because I didn't even get a chance to tweak anything out yet. I just you just left for a second and then came back in.
Left for a second and come back in, probably because the fucking packets are.
Yes.
The fucking shit.
Oh man, listen.
We hear voices in our head. We want to think we understand. We play for. No, that's the wrong song.
But how you doing, buddy? How's everything been?
Okay. Just getting through this. This crazy time.
Mondays.
I'm excited. Yeah, well, I'm basically excited that in less than 2 weeks' time we get to see finally a Sonic movie.
Oh yeah, that one. That is
at least we get the better Sonic, not the creepy Sonic.
Dude, I don't know if it's just me, but every single clip that they've been releasing lately has actually got me excited.
Hello there, Hyproc.
What's up, TSS?
Hi, Prop.
Hey,
Tyrone.
Tyrone. Good to see you here, buddy.
Are we gonna have a fucking chicken sandwich thing or no?
Wait, do I have it?
Yeah, you reached a milestone, buddy.
Wait, what the fuck? Hold on, let me check.
This shit happened 3 days ago.
Wait, no, it didn't.
5 days. 5 days.
5 days.
5 days.
I kept checking YouTube Studio and it kept saying I have 2,098.
Everybody
so
go
sub
right? To Tyrone the God 3 on YouTube already, so you can finally do the chicken sandwich showdown.
I don't check YouTube for my subscription account. I check YouTube Studios because they give the accurate number, and right now it says 2,098. So I don't have 2,100 yet.
Damn.
Okay. Two more to go.
I got 2 more to go. I think what happens, YouTube is like, oh, he's so close, let's just round it up.
Yeah, that's always been the case. Like, if you hit 51, it automatically rounds up to...
Yeah, so I just check Studios. If I check Studios and it says the number, then I will go and eat the sandwich as
Okay,
promised.
go refresh, buddy.
I'm refreshing right now.
While we're doing that, though, We want to thank everybody once again for joining us for another week. We got a lot to talk about for tonight, so we hope you guys are excited as we are to talk about the things that have been going down within the world of Pokemon. And other things as well, such as, the whole Kickstarter campaign that went down for the Wonderful 101 by Platinum Games, which is really amazing.
So that's why I keep hearing about that game. I'm like, that game came out for the Wii U a long time ago?
Yeah, the Wii U. It was one of the few titles that came out around launch. And so it did a very great job in the Kickstarter campaign because it pretty much successfully managed to do what he wanted
Okay, Tyrone,
to do.
I think we got it. I think you got
it. I'm checking now.
Ah, boy, did we do it, lads? Did we officially make this happen? And while you guys are at it...
Oh my God. Not only did I make it, I made 2103. What the fuck? Oh my God. All right. So tomorrow I'm eating a chicken sandwich.
All righty then. Yes. We officially did it, everybody. We let Tyrone get a chance to try out a sandwich. Now the only issue is going to come is he actually going to find a sandwich.
He is. No, he's gonna find it.
I live by
hell
Popeyes.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna find it.
Oh, I've lived by Popeyes this whole time.
Yeah, man, and which makes me kind of furious at the mere fact that we had to kind of put a goal just to get you to try out the sandwich. But
thank you, everyone, for 2,100 subs. Tomorrow I eat Popeyes.
Yeah, there you go, guys. You're giving him that delicious chicken greatness that he's been missing now. I mean, he's had Popeyes, I assume, just not the sandwich.
Yeah, I've had not the sandwich.
Man, I wish they had those sandwiches when we were at the EC, buddy. That would have been great. But now then, let's see what we got for tonight to talk about. Let me see here in my list of things that I don't actually have in front of me right now because I accidentally forgot to put it up in front of me. So I'm going to try to delay as much as I can with my voice here, and hopefully I try to manage to successfully get what I want to talk about for tonight. Guess what happened? I don't. Oh, I guess we can talk about this. So, Tyrone, I'm kind of curious, given that you've been memeing about it in our discussion at the Facebooks and whatnot. That whole Death Note thing, did you read that by any chance?
I did. I briefly read it before we started the pod today.
All right, good, because it was free, first of all, so anybody could have gotten a chance to have taken a read on it. And boy, what a twist. I didn't expect this sort of...
I like that use of Death Note's writing.
Yeah, it's so incredible. It really kind of gives you a different perspective in regards to the entirety of the series, just from this one shot we had alone. And I hope that this kind of thing, gets a proper sequel or something of that sort, because this one shot was one of the more entertaining chapters I've read in a very long time from anything manga related, in my opinion.
Right.
Because it just kind of throws so many curveballs in your face. You don't expect these directions to go in Death Note, and yet they do. And especially the biggest concept of it all, the modern era. Mm-hmm. So when you bring the Death Note to the modern era where technology has really advanced over the years, it really does kind of put a question in regards to how does this work now? And man,
what would we do if we were given that type of power?
Exactly. Who would be our first victim? Well, don't answer that. So, it's really great on that. Now, of course, Tyrone, what are your thoughts about it, though? I'm kind of curious on that.
So I think the use of it was very clever. The Ryuk is presenting, and Ryuk's the best Shinigami to have for this particular one, because he's the Shinigami that always makes it look like he's on your side until the very last minute, and then he's like, oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you, and then it ultimately screws people over. So I like that when the president obviously made the deal to get the Death Note, he chose not to get it once it blew up in his face that the buyer of the Death Note will die if they purchase the Death Note.
Yeah.
So it's pointing out that he'll choose his own life over his country's life, which really points out the morals of our president, which Death Note's always been good at writing, moral-based content. That's literally what the whole manga is about, is how high are your morals and who are you willing to kill in order to get what you want.
Yeah, and also, just to kind of respond to a comment here on the chat, Dill posted a tweet from Yonko, and apparently the thing is, Ryuk was trending but it was trending with politics of all things, which I clearly cannot understand. Yeah. I mean, if you read the one shot, you'll notice a particular character in there that's kind of relevant in this time right now that we're in.
Right.
But like, I just didn't think we'd ever get to that point where this lad would actually show up trending in politics. Yeah, Rick for 2020, ladies and gentlemen. Let the Death Note be the 2020 president right
Hey, The Simpsons predicted that he died. They didn't say how he died, though.
You're telling me the Death Note is real?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're cross-canon.
Listen, man, that's the one thing I did not want to see become canon in our world, man. Unless I'm the one with that book, then maybe yes. But since I don't acquire it with me, I can't exactly be happy about it.
I'll take a potato chip and eat it.
Rick, no. Now, let's see. So, overall, once again, as I mentioned before, really good one-shot. Makes me sad it's a one-shot, but I'll gladly take it.
I think they just did that one-shot to kind of point out the condition that we're in our country and what we're dealing with. And it's really funny because Death Note can always implement itself in any type of era.
And work.
It's just a matter, and it would work. So I like the use of how they did that, and I've always been a fan of Death Note. It's literally one of my top animes. So
yeah, that ending though was wild. One cannot deny that.
Wild. Yeah, it's wild.
But you want to know what else was wild in my opinion? Transitioning from this one, I guess.
Yeah.
Let's go talk a little bit about what happened yesterday. Of course, everybody was
Super Bowl.
Yeah, the bowls that is supersized. It is a big major event where it features dozens and dozens of commercials. And I didn't
fucking watch it because I decided to fucking immerse with Japanese instead, which was a better idea.
To be fair, though, you didn't really need to watch it because like all the commercials were already uploaded to YouTube before it even aired on TV.
Yeah, they did that. They did that before with the Super Bowl before that. I watched it because I was invited to a party, so that's the only reason I really dealt with the Super Bowl. I'm not a real big sports fan, but
I only did it for the half show, man.
The only reason why people watched it because they wanted to watch J-Lo and Shakira fucking shake their asses.
And dude,
hey, TSS, shut up.
I don't care. Yeah. Ignore this lad over here. Let us take a second to appreciate not that, but the mere fact that it's two Latinas going in and bringing that Latin flavor into the big stage in Miami, man. That was incredible.
Oh, no, TSS was absolutely right. That is the reason I watched. But still, shut up.
Dude. No, everybody likes the tongue.
Oh, yeah. There's actually a meaning behind that.
Poonie Chan made his cameo at the Super Bowl, y'all.
Who would have thought that would have been Poonie Chan of all things? Yeah, okay, but one cannot deny.
We need that sound clip to be on that clip. Thank you.
Yeah. Whenever we get a subscription, we'll put that. There you go. Now, one thing I want to note about this performance, man, it really, to me personally, it hit a lot for Latin folks as well, or folks of cultures, because you never see something like this to this extent in the big stage. Normally, it's always been about a band and, some very popular figures within the music industry, like Beyonce, Lady Gaga, Katy Perry, to name a few,
Michael Jackson.
Yeah, Michael Jackson still to this day is considered the top five greatest performances of all time on the Super Bowl. I mean, the mere fact that he stood there for like a solid minute or two, just letting the crowd cheer before he even began singing is iconic in itself.
That's his clout. Yeah, that's the clout at work.
Yeah, so to me personally, Shakira and J-Lo, I think they did an amazing job in bringing various cultures into one event. And also, I hope, this is my hope for future Super Bowl events, because in my opinion, I loved the direction that they went for with this event. Because for starters, they didn't last more than 30 seconds per song. They made like a medley going from one to the next and being, of course, of various songs that people grown attached to over the years, over the decades, I should say. You got from J-Lo's side, Jenny of the Block, from Shakira, you got Empire, you got Whenever, Wherever, Hips Don't Lie, all that. it was a spectacular performance, bringing even some urban artists from the reggaeton scene, you know, like Bad Bunny and J Balvin, which I was completely shocked to see some love from the Oasis group right there. So that was amazing.
Right.
So that means that you too can pretend that you're in a Conway on Fordham Road at 3:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, oddly specific, and then one person will get it. Hi, Evie.
Oh, hey, Evie. Now, seriously though, overall, I just gotta say, I love the performance. I think, personally, in my opinion, I believe it will definitely be in many people's top 5 or top 10s performances of the Super Bowl.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yep, hear you loud and clear, buddy.
Awesome. Anyways, as I was saying, J-Ho's mad. J-Ho's mad.
J-Ho's mad.
Man, though,
Hey, you guys want to stack different Pringles flavors? Here, I'll start pizza, the fucking barbecue, and jalapeno.
Oh,
The spicy
shit,
barbecue jalapeno mix.
Nobody does that shit. I think we're in a Pringles commercial.
Shit, we're in a Pringles commercial. They must have taken us in our sleep.
So we're talking about the Super Bowl?
Yeah, we're talking about some of the commercials. Well,
and then the new Nut Boy, which is like...
Yeah.
All right, now I'm gonna say something aside first.
All right.
As a Raiders fan, I do not approve of the victory that the Chiefs accomplished yesterday.
Dude, everybody's talking about that one foul, man.
Now, I'm gonna be salty for the next few months, but I gotta give respect to the Kansas City Chiefs. Congratulations to them.
They're gonna get that McDonald's meal at the president's office.
Jesus.
No, they're going to Disney World.
Yeah, that was a joke that man made. He said 7 years ago that he would, whenever anybody would win the Super Bowl, or if he wins, he would go up there and finally say those words, "I'm going to Disney World." 7 years have passed. The lad finally got a chance to say those words up front. So that in itself, I'm glad for their victory. And also, he was the youngest MVP out there. I mean, congrats to the man. You know, 25.
Well,
I guess he was.
Well, and also, Kansas City has not won a Super Bowl in 50 years. So congrats.
I was gonna point that out. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, congratulations to Kansas City, and of course to Patrick Mahomes for becoming the youngest player.
The Kansas City Chiefs do not play in Kansas. Thank you, Cheeto. It's Missouri.
But anyways, yeah. As you pointed out earlier, youngest player to win both the MVP and a Super Bowl. So already a good start for this young man.
Yeah. But dude, man, Evie, like, curious, that's the halftime show. How do you think of it?
I knew he was gonna do that.
Oh man, I was expecting it, and yet I still came out surprised.
Nothing more, nothing less.
Good lad.
And of course, we got asked, for those of you askmatics.
Oh,
asthmatics.
Asthmatics, yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's take a second, I guess, to also appreciate some of the commercials, because I think some of them this time around, while none of them really hit that hard, I still think there were some really good ones in the batch, though.
There were some nice ones, yeah.
Yeah, so
you guys went up.
Okay.
You guys went over that baby peanut commercial, right?
Yeah. Who would have thought that the Kool-Aid Man would have had the ability to bring people back to life with his tears? That in itself is a shocker. Maybe one day, man.
Oh, they pointed out Shakira wore the same outfit she wore in Zootopia.
Did they?
Oh, that's
really?
right.
Yeah, it's the same one.
Remember. I actually didn't know that up until now.
Yeah, there's a lot of references.
I think she was an antelope. In Zootopia.
Yeah,
something like that. She was the main singer for that film, if I'm correct.
Yeah, she was. Yes.
But yeah, man, that was a mighty fine performance by them. You gotta remember that, you know, in that day when she did the Super Bowl performance, she actually celebrated her birthday that day, which Shakira turned 43, and J-Lo is at this point already 50. And
Shakira must be living with the Japanese to be looking that young at 40.
I know, right? She has that vampire curse. I'm telling you, man.
She's like Pamela Anderson.
They never age. You don't know why. Even Betty White herself doesn't age, man. And like, it's
the
also
Dorito
incredible.
commercial was kind of hilarious.
What was the Doritos commercial again, though?
I think it's the one with the MC Hammer.
Yeah.
No, that was Cheetos. Cheetos had a popcorn.
No. I think the Doritos
right.
was with Lil Nas though, wasn't
Lil
it?
Nas, yeah. With
Yeah, they had the Cool Ranch, which I
Yeah.
thought was pretty cool there.
Yeah.
But no, the MC Hammer one is like, dude,
Can't
man,
touch.
you know, he breaks down, he does his iconic song, and it's like 15 minutes later, just right outside.
Right.
Great commercials in my opinion. But like, you know, there are also good ones too for films anyway. You know, if you're a big fan of the upcoming film for Black Widow, hope she doesn't die in this film. She is getting a bit of a spotlight in this event.
That's her prequel film, actually.
Yeah, it takes
Like,
place, I
it's how
believe,
she
after
became
the
Black
events of what was it, the Iron Man versus Captain America film, which was Civil War. I believe
Yeah.
it was that, or was it prior? I don't really recall where exactly it takes place. This is why I don't like prequel films that take place after already films that have occurred, you know?
All prequel films happen before already films.
Damn. But like, why?
And then I think Disney Plus finally showed off the shows that they're getting. Loki,
Falcon.
Loki, Falcon, and
WandaVision.
WandaVision, yeah.
Okay, John Game says the movie takes place after the events of Civil War. Okay, so at least that's right.
Okay.
John Game, what's going on? Yeah, it's Johnny.
Oh, dude. What was it? Here's Mountain Dew or something like that.
Hold up. Somebody commented, "Hey, Morty, we're in a Super Bowl commercial, Morty."
Oh, I thought you were gonna do another birthday.
I was reading Richie's comment.
Oh man, but yeah. So overall, what more can I say? If you are a big fan of these kind of sports, great for you. You got that, and then of course you had the commercials and the halftime performance to back it up as well.
And don't forget, if you want more football, you can catch the XFL, which is gonna happen soon enough.
My God, it's Steve Austin.
no Stone Cold Stunners on the fucking on the field now, but it's all right.
Bernie Sanders is on the field, and it looks like he's got a chair.
Now, I just got a question because, like, okay, now, you know, I think we've pretty much wrapped up our talk for the Super Bowl thing.
The Super Bowl, yeah.
I really want to talk about one film that just recently got a trailer.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at it for like a solid 10 minutes, completely confused as to what the hell I'm watching. That being the Fast and Furious 9. Have you guys seen the trailer for that by any chance?
Oh, yeah, the Fast 9. They actually had an event before the Super Bowl where they did a whole, like, they had 2 musical guests and everything.
Yeah, they had like a concert and all that celebrating the series.
I watched all of it, so I can talk briefly about it. But
right.
Evie, say what you need to say first.
I don't know why people were saying they saw John Cena. I didn't see him at all whatsoever in the trailer.
I didn't see him either. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
He's a ghost.
Whatever. That's just
right. They said he was a villain, but I just saw Vin Diesel fighting no. So
Monday.
But so they had
a
a trailer event for the Fast 9, which me and my roommate, he's a big Fast and Furious fan, so he's watching it live, and we really just want to watch the trailer. We didn't want to watch all that other stuff that came with it, but we had to sit there and go and sit through it. And they had musical guests. They had Cardi B. They had some Spanish rapper, and then they had Omar, whoever he is. But when they had those guys, it was so funny because since it's a trailer meeting and not an official concert, the audience was smaller than it should have been for when Cardi B does anything. Like it was awkwardly small. You could still see patches of grass and stuff around where people are standing. And it's just people that were really here for the trailer, not for all the rest of the stuff.
Yeah.
So when Cardi's rapping, you don't hear a lot of audience members. You just see a bunch of people with their phones pointing at Cardi, and you hear nothing. Like no audience clapping, no cheering for real. Just awkward, like people bobbing their heads. And then when she's done singing the song, we hear like golf course claps. Like excellent job, Cardi. Excellent job. And then one random white woman going, "I love you, Cardi." And then that's it. Yeah, that's it. It's so awkward. And the reason it's so awkward is because people really just wanted to watch the trailer. They didn't ask for the Cardi B musical concert. They didn't ask for the other rap artist who sung or any of this. It was an event that was way bigger than what it was supposed to be. So it's so awkward because the audience just doesn't fit it. It's just great. But yeah, that was pretty much the experience. But the trailer itself was cool, and obviously people are hyped because Hans is back.
Yeah, justice is coming, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like that's the thing. It's like that in itself, it really caught me off guard. I think that I was talking with Nessa a while ago about this, where we're like, I can't take this series seriously at all. Like, especially when you're watching like the first few minutes of that trailer, where this man jumps out of like a 2-story building and lands on the rail side of the bus and hangs on to the edge. Dude, if you ever fall from that height and grab and latch onto one of those poles, your arms would be the only thing sticking while the rest of your body flops to the floor, man.
Don't believe in that stuff, kids.
Right.
This is why scientists and physicians hate the movies.
Yeah. And then, of course, like, you cannot go without talking about the Tarzan moment in the trailer, where somehow Don just managed to, I guess, mathematically find the correct position to drop kick with his car the side of the bridge, so that way the thing can latch onto the wheel and swing the car from one side of the island to the other. And I'm like, bruh, that shit cannot be real. And it's so good. I don't know. In my opinion, I don't think there is any other series out there that makes you question the physics of a series, yet you still enjoy it all the way.
Because Fast and Furious is not meant to be like a. You're not meant to take it seriously. It's literally just like a popcorn movie. You show up, you watch it with a couple of people, say, "Oh, that shit was awesome," and then you leave, and you never really reference it again.
Yeah, but it's like, it's so stupid, man. I just love it. I absolutely just love the whole series, because you got to remember,
right?
We started this series with a dumb, just illegally stealing like bootleg DVDs, if you remember that.
Right.
So now, we're getting to that point where like the Fast and Furious 10, because after what you saw right now with this trailer, you saw that they like put a rocket engine on top of this puny ass car. And right. I'm like, bruh, we're getting to that point where I swear to God, we are going to go to space, man. We are eventually going to see these characters somehow in the stratosphere up there to the moon.
Just like that.
I mean, at this point, if they're going to go to space, they might as well race in Mario Karts.
Yeah, right.
Actually, it's funny, during the trailer, because the lady who was hosting it did start giving an interview to all of the cast members, and they're like, what do you think of the Fast series so far? Have you've been in nine of them already? And the girl goes, I don't know what we can do to top this unless we get some sci-fi involved. Like,
and I mean, so they kind of did.
It's funny you guys point that out, because that's literally what she says in the interview. She goes, I'm not sure how we're gonna top this unless we get sci-fi stuff involved.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I love everything about this trailer, man, because it's like it opens up the opportunity for these characters to suddenly shoot up into space, because what's the next big step from a sci-fi-ish kind of series that you're going through right now? Like, there's a part in the trailer where a man managed to physically grab a car, okay? Like, we and of course, if you've watched the Hobbs and Shaw spin-off, you'll see a lot of references that were from that film that carry into this film, so they kind of connect with each other. And in regards to that suit, I'm assuming that right there is going to be a very big plot point in regards to bringing a certain character back, that being, of course, of Han. Because in the whole shenanigans regarding Hobbs and Shaw with Idris Elba's character, I forgot what his name was in the film, he is like the superhuman. So he has that kind of ability where like he can regenerate and kind of like recover himself a bit and whatnot during bruises.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
He's got the super soldier serum?
Yeah, he got that shit. And I'm like,
Pretty
okay,
much.
so that's what they're probably gonna do to Han, where he's like an experiment or something of that sort, where he's probably gonna regenerate a bit and then he's gonna come back to life. Either that, or they're gonna be like, he never was in the vehicle at all when the vehicle exploded in the Tokyo Drift film.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't know if that's what they're gonna do. I need an explanation for how this man lived. The whole premise of his death was, spread throughout 7 films. And now this man's back alive? And like the guy who pretty much killed the man in the second film is now a good guy. So what's gonna happen when Hans and this man meet each other again? Is he gonna simply accept the man as a good guy this time around, or what's gonna go down? Like, these are the things I'm super excited to see in this upcoming film. It's so stupid, it's ridiculous, and I love every second of it nonetheless. So that's the Fast and Furious for you in a nutshell, man.
Yep.
Alrighty,
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. So now I guess with that being said, since we got a chance to talk about a couple of things that have gone down, what do you say we start beginning our talks for the Pokemon content?
Sure.
Do it.
Alrighty then, let's kick things off with one in particular that I really want to talk about, that of course not being the episode yet. We will get to that soon, folks. It's more focusing on the big event that's going to be happening later this month. I keep forgetting we're already in February, but yes, later this February, specifically on Pokemon Day of all days, something is actually going to be happening this time around. What exactly is that? Well, it turns out that they're going to be officially releasing, for the first time here, outside of Japan, Pokemon the movie 22, I want to say, correct?
23.
No, 23 is Coco.
Oh,
22.
Yeah, the Mewtwo movie.
Yeah, exactly. The Mewtwo film is
Alright.
actually going to finally be showcased here outside of Japan. So that's going to be a big thing right there, because I did not see that coming.
Which we just got The Power of Us on Netflix, by the way, like not too long ago.
Yeah, right? So, yeah, because like that, I think that was like the final thing they posted before like the end of the year, if I recall correctly. So so it's like a big surprise completely coming out of nowhere. Oh, by the way, Pokemon Day is coming, isn't it? Yeah, but like that was random, don't you think?
Right.
So let me just grab an image real quick here so we can actually get this started here on the other segment. So let me go do that real quick. So, of course, we got the fact that the film Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution is going to be releasing for the dub in Netflix of all services. What do you guys think about that?
You guys can go first.
Well, honestly, didn't think this would happen. Like, I know that initially, when it comes to the marketing aspect of things, we thought that Pokemon Movie 22 was just going to be a one and done thing in the United States, where they showcased them showing in what is it, AnimeCon? I want to say, I don't remember the exact
Anime Expo.
Anime Expo.
Anime Expo, thank you. In LA, and not that was gonna be pretty much it, but no, we're coming to the past recent days into the announcement that the movie's actually gonna be hitting it's actually going to be hitting on Netflix. So that kind of I think we could all agree that kind of caught us all off guard. Especially caught us on a surprise.
Wasted opportunity.
Okay.
It does feel like it, because you would think that a film, and especially because TSS pointed this out a while back when we had our discussion about this prior to its announcement to officially release in Netflix, because we were talking about it during the final moments of last year that, hey, the year is almost over, and yet there has been no announcement about a theatrical release for a film that they've been promoting using the original world premiere stuff from Kids WB back in the day for their very first teaser trailer on Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution. Back in I believe it was January or February of last year.
That's correct.
And here we are. It's like, after so much time of speculation, questioning regarding what exactly went down with the series, it is here and it exists. It's now going to be on the Netflix streaming service. If you already own the film, of course, since it's already available out in Japan via Blu-ray and DVD, it's just there, and I really don't know how to feel about it, man. It's kind of weird. Like, I'm gonna watch it, of course. There's no denying that. It's just more like it's just so late, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and also that we're still not going to get what we want, and essentially that is going to be Japanese with the subtitle with English subtitles. It's never going to happen.
Oh, it's just going to be straight up dubbed when it hits Netflix.
Yeah, it's going to be straight up dub, and that's it. Now the question then is, I wonder if Japanese Netflix will get it at the same date. I doubt it, but it'll be interesting to see nonetheless. So we need some.
My big question is what is the soundtrack gonna be?
You know what the answer to that is?
What?
It's time for pianos and flutes.
No!
I believe it was confirmed that Goldfarb worked on the score for Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution.
No!
So there you go.
God, no!
Yes.
Yeah, we've already seen the subs, but to those who haven't had the chance to go and check out the subs and are waiting for just the dub because they prefer the dub voicing over the sub, they're gonna have to, unfortunately, if this happens, either A, get an inferior version because it doesn't come with the original score of what the film is supposed to be about, or B, maybe get a surprise score release. I highly doubt any dub score will be able to compete with the original dub score from the very first movie. I mean, that in itself is iconic. It had
I love that dub score, yeah.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with that score. It's what made the first movie. I mean, from the quote lines that were in the dub itself to the iconic Tears of Life. I mean, that song still till this day resonates with a lot of fans, It's like the first three movies are like the last time for real. I feel like even though they if you watch them dub, they don't have the Japanese score. It's the last time to me I feel like Pokemon decided that they wanted to, if they're gonna make a score, they're gonna at least put some elbow grease and work into it, and not like TSS say pay a guy to do some $5 synthesizer / flute music.
Goldfarb did an okay job at 20 because he actually got like a whole brass band behind him and piano. If he does something like that, then I'll be fine, as long as it's not anything to do with like the way they compose this for the original series.
I'm really gonna have to see what that clone fight looks like, because even no matter what version you watch, the clone fight just looks silly because CGI. I need to hear it though. I need to hear what music, because that's the moment in which the Pokemon are basically trying to kill each other. So we gotta see how circus.
Now the thing is, I'm also kind of curious about the voice acting for this as well.
So far from the trailers, it doesn't sound terrible. I'm just really curious to see what Brock and Misty are gonna sound like for real.
Yeah,
cigarettes.
You did it.
You did it.
You did it, Satoshi. I mean, Ash.
Sorry, wrong script.
Sorry, wrong script.
Man,
Google translates a bitch.
Wow. But yeah, so
Sonic Adventure.
Aside from that, though, another interesting thing that's also happening on Pokemon Day is that they did confirm that Pokemon the movie Coco is going to have a Pokemon that we have yet to see in the actual games. It is going to be a brand new mythical Pokemon, and it will make its debut on Pokemon Day. And I'm assuming on Pokemon Day, we're probably also going to be getting a trailer, a first trailer, I should say, for Pokemon Coco. Because that would make sense, in my opinion.
I mean, we got a trailer for Coco, but it was like, what?
Yeah, no, that's the teaser trailer.
That's the teaser trailer. Yeah. That's not even a real...
that was the teaser to the trailer,
You're not even a real trailer.
Now we get the real trailer. And I'm really believing that the Coco
Not
trailer
in
is
China.
probably going to do is going to be premiering there to coincide with the announcement of this new mythical Pokemon that's going to be introduced on that day. Now, another thing to kind of question about that, are they also going to have a direct of some sort on that day too?
Probably yes.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
And
Okay.
just so long as they don't do any new mainstream Pokemon games, you can throw off a bunch of side games or some add-ons that they didn't talk about for the DLC. That would actually be cool if they throw down some.
Yeah, that's the thing. We also they also need to update us on the upcoming DLC. So I think a direct will make sense. From there, they could actually reveal the new mythical Pokemon.
Yeah, and maybe like that new mythical Pokemon can also either A, tie into the game itself, or B, be one of those Pokemon that you acquire via event, like just, mystery gift, I really do believe that the new mythical Pokemon that's going to be in Coco is going to be the mystery gift event.
I don't want I want an event. I don't want a mystery gift Pokemon. I don't want those whole, like, you gift code and then some guy is waiting at the Pokemon Center.
No, that's what's going to happen.
I don't want that. I want a cutscene. I want an event. I want to travel somewhere. I want to go on an adventure
visit an
to
island?
get the Pokemon.
Wants to travel far and
Yeah.
wide.
That would be
actually-
cool, actually.
Yeah,
As
because
Joe-
Go ahead, TSS.
As Joe mentioned, it'll be the first time that we're actually not going to get spoiled because the data doesn't exist in the game yet. It's probably going to be
Nice.
part of an
Wow.
update. That means that it's the first time ever in a goddamn Pokemon game we're not going to be spoiled what the mythical is.
Yes,
And
bitch.
I'm really happy about that.
And like, because Diamond and Pearl had these really cool events for meeting like Shaman and Arceus and stuff like that, and Darkrai, but we didn't get them. Unfortunately, we wound up getting the freaking mystery gift where they just send the Pokemon to your game, and that's boring.
And you had the events in the game. It's not
Oh
like
yeah,
they
the
were
coding
removed.
is in the game, right?
Yep.
So it just hurts me when, like, they just give you the Pokemon. Like, why is this guy in this orange suit handing me a box that has the god of all Pokemon in it? Like, what the fuck?
Here, have God. Wait, what?
Right. Hey kid, want some God? Wait, are you a delivery man or a Jehovah's Witness?
Yes.
Yes, right.
Yes.
Now, somebody was mentioning about Pokemon Home. This is my big fear. I would be mad if the data is in Pokemon
Man.
Home, though.
Ooh,
Because they would do something like that.
they might.
Because you
Yeah,
gotta
but
remember,
the thing is, though, it's a cloud service, so...
that is
Oh, yeah.
true as well. So that means they can't necessarily, grab
I mean, that also
So far,
brute force
Pokemon's
it.
been doing pretty good keeping their stuff under wraps, though. So you know what? I have a lot of faith.
Yeah, I think Pokemon,
Yes.
since their movement to the DLC world, has really done a great
Since
job.
the movement to
of-
the Switch.
You think so?
Yeah,
Yes.
look at all the Sword and Shield trailers what we got. They didn't spill too much. We still wound up discovering new things as we played.
That is true as well. If you
Yeah.
weren't someone who was putting attention to the leaks and all that and just jumped into Sword and Shield, you would be encountering dozens of Pokemon that you are unfamiliar with, and you would have one of the hardest times ever in the game.
Yeah,
because
even us, as much as we kept up with the news of Pokemon, there was still hell. The minute the game started, you end up seeing Koffant, the elephant construction Pokemon.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
kind of like the Nidoran of back in the day.
Right, like once you saw it, I was like, "What the hell is that thing? Oh my god!"
It's Tempo, the badass elephant.
I mean, yeah, it's not my favorite Pokemon, but it's still cool to see like new Pokemon. Even like it was the first time in a game I've been introduced to some new Pokemon.
Yeah.
And I loved it. It felt like the good old days.
Yeah, if anything, that's one of the reasons why I've congratulated further for this Armor and Crown DLC, because I already know we're gonna get introduced to some great new stuff. I think they just showed us the tip of the iceberg on this one.
Yeah, if they're showing us Mythicals here, or with the new Pokemon Day reveal and whatnot, who knows what other Pokemon they could be hiding? You don't know, maybe
Right.
there could be new common mons there too. that
We
you could
didn't know
evolve.
that Slowpoke had a Galarian form until they told.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
another thing. There could be
And it was in the
Galarian
update
forms.
patch. It wasn't already coded in the game. It was in the update patch.
Exactly, so they can hit us with anything, literally anything, and I love it.
Yeah, you can have Galarian forms of any species. You don't know what you're going to get into. And that right there is surprising because they didn't
Yes.
specify that you're only getting one Galarian form. You could get a dozen. You don't know. And that right there is what makes Pokemon from back in the day so great, because you never knew what you were jumping into. And now that this event is happening with DLC, Pokemon
you can get regular
is
Zapdos or Cajun flavored Zapdos.
Yeah, now Pokemon is at its peak right here, and it's looking to be a fun one. So I'm excited for all of it, and I cannot wait to see what shenanigans will come in store for the Pokemon franchise moving forward. And also hello there, Jordan. Nice to see you here. Welcome to our Twitch.
Welcome. Also, happy anniversary to Dogasu. 20th anniversary. 20 years.
Nice.
20 years with that backpack, man. How is he doing that?
Well, it'll probably look like my freaking backpack back in elementary school. It probably all looks all tattered and torn, but at least you can patch it up and sew it, and it'll all be good as new.
Yeah.
But I'm happy for Dogasu. He's worked his ass off. He was the first guy to actually cover the Japanese version online in the West, and I'm really appreciative of him. And I've met him a few times, and he's a great guy. He talks a lot of, he's very, I wouldn't say stern, but he's very direct about his opinions. And yeah, you may or may not agree with him, but he does have a very vast amount of knowledge. He actually told me about the Tajiri book. Well, the Tajiri manga, when I was over there, I think it was the second time when that came out, and I ended up getting it on his recommendation. So I still haven't read that. I should read it. It's in my room, and I still have to read it. But I heard that they kind of, according to Dogasu, they kind of sugarcoated Satoshi Tajiri's story a little bit.
Yeah, that was one of the things they've said, but I think that's something they're always going to do with some kind of book like these,
Yeah, of course. It's supposed to be like, it's like those movies on Queen and Elton John, based on a true fantasy, right?
Wait, what?
They have to. Well, that was a tagline for Rocket Man, based on a true fantasy. They have to, twist and turn the truth a little bit just to make it work in a movie. So it's kind of like the same thing.
Yeah. Now, let's go into the mythical talk for a bit regarding the new one that we're going to be getting, by the way. We know it's going to tie into the movie Coco, but the question now comes in regards to, A, what exactly could this mythical bring to this film? And B, is it a main mythical, or is it one of those side mythicals that's just gonna be there?
You're a side mythical.
You know what I mean? Because for example, let's talk about Reggie Gigas, who appeared in the Shaman film, but wasn't necessarily the main part of the film. It showed up at the very end. So do you think that's pretty much gonna be the case for this new mythical, or do you think that there's going to be something more for this Pokemon to be shown? Because I feel like it is going to be a main mythical for the film. It's going to actually be the main focus, because otherwise why would they talk about it and make such a big deal of this mythical being in this film? You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, it's got to be a main.
Yeah, so what do you guys think about this direction that they're going with this mythical? Also, I guess this is before I pass it on to you guys, I'm loving that this is the direction they're taking mythicals now with the movies.
I'm glad they're doing that instead of yeeting Marshadow into unnecessarily.
Yeah, at least they're actually writing a plot.
Yeah,
right.
and then it's relevant. This is just like, now obviously this is a terrible example, but this is literally that idea done right. And Pokemon Origins, or the Origins if you watch it in Japan, at the end of Origins, obviously it goes the exact same way as the video games up until Red of Mega Evolved Charizard into Charizard X to assist him in catching Mewtwo. Right after that special, immediately after that special, we got Mega Charizard X introduced in Pokemon X and Y, literally the day before it came out. So the whole special was really to just introduce Charizard X. Because for the first time ever, Charizard's finally going to get the status of Dragon and then get it taken away. But because of that, though, it was the special, the 4-part special promoting the video game. Where here we get that exact same thing, only this time it's done correct, because 1, its identity is hidden, and 2, the movie is clearly revolved around this Pokemon in some way, shape, or form. They have just strategically not shown it yet.
Yeah.
So I respect it for that.
It's just gonna make movies a lot more fun to watch now because you don't know what to expect. Anything can go. Not just for the games this time around, even the movies. Hell, even the TV series could also get this as well. Imagine if the TV series can do that stunt where
well, KG, remember they tried to do that. Remember that bet you and I made on which Lycan Rock Ash Ball is Rock Ruff into? And all they had to fucking do was wait like a couple of days. And it would have been perfect. It would have evolved in a dusk form Lycan Rock, something we would never seen. And then the video game could have launched it in the game and it would have been perfect. But no, they had to freaking ruin it.
Yeah, via I think it was, Ohasuta or was it Pokenchi that revealed it? I forgot which of the two. But it was literally days before.
Yeah, they revealed it.
Probably Oha, because Oha has a tendency.
Oh yeah, it was like a 2 to 3 days before the actual episode aired.
It's not Pokenchi because Pokenchi records all their episodes at once at the beginning of the month, so that's not.
TSS, you made this exact argument when we talked about the subject matter of Lycan Rock back then.
Yeah, and I love how both of us, we argued for like a solid 2 hours and none of us got it right.
No, and it was longer than 2 hours. The moment Ash caught Rock Ruff, the argument was on, the fight was on to see would he evolve into midnight or midday. Turns out we were both wrong, and they could have just waited like Abnominitrix said, like 3 to 5 days. If they had just waited 3 to 5 days, we would have been golden. We would have learned about Dust Form Lycan Rock, and then they could have released it as a video game Pokemon.
Yeah, for Usum. So that would have been amazing right there. But of course, things didn't work out so well. So yeah. I hope now, thanks to the shift that we got now being on Sundays, we could work around that.
Yeah. Except well, actually now the Oha segment that airs on Friday, at least it doesn't spoil too much now.
It did spoil the Mr. Mime bit that we learned for the Battle Frontier, which I assume everyone already knew prior to that because continuity is not really common yet in the series. So everybody was assuming Mr. Mime was going to be a thing. But still, I mean, they still technically spoiled something at the end of the day. So we don't know what's going to happen. Let's just hope they do their best to keep things hidden for this series. Because if they can manage to pull this off for the films and for the TV series, this is what's gonna reignite that passion that people had for the television series. I mean, even more than how it's already been these past couple of weeks. You know, given the Dragonite event with Ash catching Dragonite, that went trendy worldwide on social media, man.
Yes.
So, you know, that in itself shows you the power of the television series. If they could do something like that with Ash as a character, imagine if Ash catches that new exclusive Pokemon. That right there could get so many people, you know, excited for what's to come with the series. And not just only that, also get excited for whatever new species of Pokemon that will await us in the DLC.
And maybe if TPC is listening and actually watching and trending, maybe they'll give us what we want.
They almost did, but we lost it though. We lost that war, sadly. Oh well. So yeah, any other thoughts you guys want to share regarding the Coco film and of course the new Mythical Mon?
I can't wait. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Evie.
My bad. I just thought I'd say something since I've been listening to you guys.
Go ahead.
What you guys had to say. Okay, so this is my concern in regards to this new mythical Pokemon. Would it actually be quote unquote new mythical Pokemon? And the reason why I quote the new word is because if you notice on the upcoming DLC, we did get introduced to some new Pokemon, but the new Pokemon turned out to be Galarian forms in the form of Articuno, Moltres, and Zapdos. So what if we get a Galarian version of a mythical Pokemon?
I didn't think about that.
And in the film teaser trailer, they did show off the Celebi Shrine.
But
it doesn't make sense if it says new. You gotta.
Technically, it is new though because they did point out.
But they're really emphasizing on the fact that it's new. If it was a Galarian Pokemon, I think they would have said a special Pokemon.
Remember what they did for the Ponyta event?
Yeah,
exactly.
That's right. Yeah.
What did they do again?
24 hours, buddy.
24
Yeah, but did they
hours.
say newer?
Yes, they
didn't
did say there was probably going to be some new Pokemon hidden amongst it.
And it was. And it was. You have
Yeah.
And it was
Impidimp.
Impidimp. Yeah.
No, we don't even know its name yet. What are you talking about?
Never got a trailer reveal.
Yeah, we never got the trailer reveal for that motherfucker yet, so he's still unknown at this moment.
Right,
He's
but-
the mythical for this film. There you go.
But I don't know. I want to say a completely new Pokemon to the roster.
I hope.
But
that's
I'm
the
not.
case.
I'm not ready to cut out the idea that there's a Galarian. Because if it's Galarian Celebi, the only thing I think they can do with them is make him Grass Fairy instead of Grass Psychic.
He's not
Yeah.
a grass fairy?
No.
No, he's Grass Psychic. He's been Grass Psychic since his debut.
I
Or her
thought they
debut.
would have updated it, given some Pokemon getting
Oh
up
no, they would have announced
They
Celebi
would've
had got the
announced
type
that.
change.
I
Yeah.
would've been
Celebi's
asking
too
you if they did
valuable of a Pokemon for to drop the ball on that.
And besides, Joe will be the first one to tell you.
Yeah, he would be. Before it even gets announced, he was straight up.
Right, I'm
telling
gonna
you,
say yeah. So
Instead of
yeah,
Kakadine, right?
if it is Celebi that I'm thinking, then probably just grass. Change from grass to fairy now.
Okay.
Which, all right.
But that's just the only thought that I have out of this new mythical Pokemon. Just, like you said, Tyrone, I hope it is a completely new mythical Pokemon. But
Yeah.
of course, don't be surprised knowing the content that we're getting for the DLC.
Right. I'm not ready I'm not ready to completely reject the idea of a Galarian mythical. That can be done. I'm just saying I'm leaning 70% towards a new Pokemon.
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay.
All right, TSS, what were you going to say?
I'm gonna say that I'm looking forward to the various merch and maybe some hopefully some Pokemon Kids stuff that's gonna be based off of the movie. Hopefully that's gonna be coming out in May. That when I'm there, so I know that they're gonna have it like a few months, like 2 months in advance. So I know I'm gonna be getting the poster for it, but I'm hoping that they're gonna have some special goods as well to entice people to get excited for the movie. So that's one of the things that I'm looking forward to. So we'll see what happens after Pokemon Day.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting month, that is for sure, and I hope it's a successful one for them, man. Pokemon Day always tends to have some very cool stuff in them, so let's hope that this year it's gonna just be balls to the wall, insane, and it is. I mean, already we're getting told that there's gonna be a new Pokemon that we've never seen before be revealed in this event. That in itself is already exciting, and let's see if they manage to do a better job with that when it actually gets revealed in the distant future. So let me see what else was there that I really wanted to talk about before we go and wrap things up for our little pre-discussion before we actually get to our episode discussion of the night, being of the recent episode of Pocket Monsters 2019. Now, I was hearing on social media there was a big thing going on about Pokemon Day regarding the Pokemon of the Year.
Yes, I heard that too.
So what I'm being told is that on February 5th all the way to the 14th, voting will be open for what fans will vote for the Pokemon of the Year. Now, they have a website already available, but not necessarily up yet. Apparently, I think this is also coinciding with Google too. I'm not sure if that's correct. But yeah, Pokemon of the Year. This is a big event that's happening right now, and many fans are really doing their best to try to figure out who they would try to see be the main Pokemon of the said year. As you guys already know, we already can kind of guess as to who that Pokemon's going to be.
Snom.
Well, I mean, no. No, we're talking about your boy Charizard. I mean, there's no other Pokemon. It's always going to be Charizard, man, or Greninja, but Greninja's dead already, so we don't even... he failed us already a few years back, so...
If it is Snom, then I'm going to have to spend about $30 at Gacha machines.
What are we talking about?
Pokemon of the Year.
Oh, good. Oh, it's Snom, duh.
Shit.
Snom's not even my favorite Pokemon, and I love it. Like, it's Snom.
Snom is on a tier of its own, man. You can't
Snom
put
is
Snom.
triple S tier.
So Lumio's trainer Zach made a video of his like top 10 cutest Pokemon from Galar or whatever. Oh, top cutest Pokemon of each type. And then he made a top 10 of all cutest Pokemon, period, in Galar. And he didn't pick Snom as number 1. He picked it as number 3. So it's high on the list, but he didn't pick it as number 1. And he picked it for bias reasons, obviously, like personal experiences. But I still think that there's like a group of people with torches and pitchforks ready to burn him alive because he didn't pick Snom as number 1. Because Snom.
But come on,
gonna,
guys. We
gonna
all
get,
know
gonna
the
get him.
real.
Gonna get him the next time he goes to the turnstile, right?
Watch his video, by the way, if you haven't. It was,
Yeah.
but Snom was so popular. I think he had his own ranking on the tier list, didn't it?
Yeah, we made a Snom tier list.
Yeah,
we made a
when
Snom
we did the
tier.
rankings.
Yeah, it's Snom tier. It's like above everybody else. Yeah.
Of course,
Exactly.
because it's just precious. Like,
Yeah, so, I mean, you know, everybody's been kind of doing their own movement. I don't know if you guys have been actually paying attention to that. People have been, like, doing various hashtags for various Pokemon. The one I saw the most was in regards to Stantler, of all Pokemons. Stantler being voted for best Pokemon of the year.
well, hell, I mean, Stantler actually got some spotlight in the anime for once.
Yeah, I forgot that was even a Pokemon, you know?
Right, poor Stantler. I think, yeah, he hasn't had any real spotlight literally since his debut.
Yeah, so here I'm really loving this direction, man. So maybe Stantler could win if fans vote for Stantler. Personally, for me, I would say go vote for my boy Zorua, because he deserves some love. And he is coming back in the DLC, so I'm very happy about that, alongside with some other fan favorites like the Dene and Garchomp. Which Garchomp honestly was not needed, but we'll take anyway.
Speaking of Daydene, I didn't know Daydene had quite a cult following. I look on Twitter and there's like 3 different Twitter accounts completely devoted to Daydene. That's why if you guys keep seeing my Twitter and you see that I'm sharing like Daydene art drawings,
Yeah.
that's like 3 other Twitter channels profiles uploading Daydene stuff.
No,
Like,
it doesn't
crazy.
stop there. The Dene in Japan is such a big thing. I'm
so
surprised by that.
yeah, and are you surprised? Daydene is fucking dope. That's why.
My favorite... Go on.
No, I was making a joke.
Okay. Now, I was going to say my favorite, the Dene pick was the one where they decided to mutate it alongside the fossil Pokemon. So, like,
Yes.
the front head is actually the Dene, and then you have this big, bulky leg body that's from Draco Vault, I believe.
Yeah,
that is.
I know what you're
Oh my
referring- I know
God.
exactly what you're referring to.
Oh my god.
It is
That's
so horrible. I love
haunts
it.
my memories, right?
And then there's Buff the Dene, which is also another great one I love too.
Yes. I like the Gigantamax Daydene.
Oh yeah, that's also incredible.
Mhm.
Like,
And then the Bonnie Daydene too.
you know, I would be surprised if they don't make a Gigantamax the Dene, given the popularity it's in Japan.
If they do, guys, I'm gonna lose my absolute. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna fucking cry. I love Daydene so much. I'm so glad it's one of the popular Pikachu clones, because Pikachu clones normally get spotlight for like the time that they exist, and then they're literally thrown away. So, if they do this to Daydene, I'm gonna lose my collective shit.
The fact that he's coming back should already kind of tell you that, yeah, he's loved.
Exactly, because we had freaking Togedemaru in Sun and Shield. I'm like, ew,
No one liked him.
freaking soccer ball ass Pokemon.
With spikes. Can the Dene get Dazzling Gleam in the DLC too, please?
Oh, if he does, I'm shutting the competition down, because you know I'm using him in my competitive team.
Of course. I mean,
Yeah.
we've seen that, and
Yep.
hopefully it works, man. You never know.
Yes.
All right, so
But-
let me just go and transition this real quick, but go on.
All right. Nothing else. I was just saying, let's see, outside of that, what was it? The Snom stuff. Because Snom's going to win. Do you know Snom has a cult follower? Has a, what do they call them? The Deciders or the Choosers? It's Snom, Perchin, and another Pokemon.
From Galar?
Pyukumuku.
Pyukumuku, thank you. Snom, Perchin, and Pyukumuku. And then Larvesta's going to show up soon because he's going to be in the DLC, obviously.
Oh god, the
they're
Blob
the-
Squad.
Yeah, they're called they're called the something. There's like a whole funny meme about them where they always
Fantastic
show
Four?
up. What?
No, I was saying the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, no, not quite. Yeah, I could see it. But it was like they're like a part of a group, and they basically they're just the worm, like a worm, and they're supposed to be like the most dangerous crew on the face of the planet.
It's just these 4 blobs here.
Yeah.
Oh man, I gotta take a look at that on social media. Maybe you guys know the Worm Gang. Somebody says
the council. Yeah, Sabian just said the council will determine your fate.
There it is. Yeah. They're called the council.
Yes, they're called the council, and La Vesta's gonna come back.
Oh, good lord, that is great.
Yeah, they're called because it was like, stay right here. The council will decide your fate.
Okay, I did not know about that. Alrighty then. So overall, that's pretty much our little talk for tonight in regards to some of the things that have been going on within the past week. How about we take this opportunity now to go and probably dissect everything that went down in this recent episode of Pocket Monsters 2019. What do you say, guys?
But first, a commercial.
Yeah, from our no, not real sponsors, Shadow Raid Legends.
Shadow Legends, baby.
Yeah, it's a free mobile game that's available on iOS and Android. Okay, we're gonna stop that there for now.
I just want like somebody to be like
Actually, time stall for 60 seconds, please. I'll be back.
I just want I want them to come to us one day and be like, we know you don't actually sponsor us, but ever since you guys kept making that fucking joke, we've sold more copies of Raid Shadow Legends in the past 2 months than we sold with all of our sponsors. So would you like to sponsor us? And I'm gonna be like, hell the fuck yes.
I'd rather not be involved in any of those cringy ass mobile game apps that you see on YouTube every once in a while.
Yeah, I understand you don't want to to sell out to them, but just for shits and giggles, it's funny because
also,
it's always,
I'm doing it live stream compared to on a YouTube
they do
video.
it on a right. The joke is that it always shows up in mid sentences or in the middle of a video, just inappropriately.
Yeah, he could be in the middle of the Super Bowl discussion. But you know what else is great alongside that halftime performance we got? Raid Shadow Legends.
The mobile game for
iOS and Android. Yeah, you get the idea. So you know
what?
We're gonna pull that shit off every week for no stupid reason. I'm gonna try my best to find it.
It's literally a dumb transitional period. The joke is that it's just inappropriate time.
Exactly. So all right then. Now, let me see if I got the info here with me. Yes, I do. Let us now take this opportunity to go and talk a little bit about this week's episode of Pocket Monsters 2019. And Tyrone, actually, I am surprised with this one because I did not think you would enjoy this episode as much given your past talks about this. And now here we are with this episode of Pocket Monsters 2019, titled, of course, being of Koharu, Yamper, and sometimes Gengar too. The whole point about this this episode was mainly just kind of diving into Koharu as a character. Not necessarily developing her, but just learning about her, if that makes any sense. You know, from the viewer's perspective, it's more of us learning about her, not really her learning about herself and what she can achieve. Because I think that was the really cool thing about this episode. It showcases a girl in a Pokemon world that she doesn't really feel like she belongs in it in a way, if that makes sense.
All right.
But Tyrone, I'm curious now. What did you think about this episode, though? Because I know you had a lot that you wanted to say, and I really wanted to hear what you got to say about this as well.
I want to give the others the chance to talk first.
Oh, okay, never mind then. So, I guess Eevee.
I want Eevee and TSS to say their things.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't quite see the episode, so there's not really much that I would say about it. So, TSS, the floor is yours.
Talking about 11, right?
Yes.
Recent episode.
Yeah. Okay. So the latest episode. Wow, what an episode! This is exactly the episode that we needed for Koharu's development. That's exactly what we needed. To have her to actually see that she has a little brother is cool. That's number one. To actually see her mother is cool. To also have to actually see her going to school and seeing a class have an Ask Me Anything for her.
Which, by the way, Koharu is confirmed main character. She's.
Repeat that again, Tyrone. You kind of cut off for me there.
I said Koharu confirmed main character. Look where she's sitting.
Oh.
Yeah, she's sitting next to the window. She's a main character.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, it's all funny. It's all funny games until Koharu sees Bench-kun.
Right.
Oh no, we ain't going to that level. Oh wait, there was wait, hold on. Evie, there was a bench in the middle of the flower field. I remember there was just one bench in that field.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yes.
So go ahead, TSS.
So in that specific scene, what I really liked is that, you know, some of the questions that the classmates were asking her was, you know, you like battling because you're the daughter of the professor and all that stuff, and it's like, you know, then she's trying to brush that off due to the fact that, you know, she doesn't really, you know, she's not really interested in Pokemon. And then the girl in front of her asks, do you hate Pokemon? And it's like, no, not really. And then she's like, do you like Pokemon? And then she's like, she couldn't have a straight answer. And then, of course, I think her teacher knew that they were trying to, you know, egg her on. One person tried to challenge her to a battle. Who said, I just have Yampachi, you know, Yamper, Wampachi, and that was it. And then the teacher had to stop, and then we see the scene with out in the garden, just while watering the flowers, and then her mother comes along, and then gives her lunch because she forgot it. And then that's when her mother tells her about the fact that she wanted to be a manga artist and an illustrator. And she was just about to give up on her dreams because she wanted to do it since high school. And then Sakuragi comes up to her while she's in high school and says, oh, you know, it'll be easy. Don't worry. You can graduate, do all this stuff. And then, interestingly enough, she said even though that she kind of didn't want to follow the ambition, you know, she wanted to still continue forward, even though she never ended up being like a mangaka illustrator.
Yeah, like a big known person out there.
Yeah, at least Sakuragi gave her the confidence to, you know, continue on, and that was, I think, the best. I think that was the best part. And then Koharu understood that, you know, live up to expectations and all that shit. So I really appreciate that thing. You have to either know Japanese or you watch like the sub to really understand the context of the message that her mother gives her. And that right there was one of the finest pieces of storytelling that I've seen in a long time in terms of character development.
I have to say, man, like, it really surprised me the direction that they took with this episode, only because it touches a lot of topics that, once again, is something that many people may relate to. I mean, the thing I love the most about what we've just been talking about regarding the illustration bit and her giving up on it is that, as you pointed out, Sakuragi talks to her and says, listen, stop, you know, don't do this, you know, continue to do what you love. And that was the push that she needed to just continue to move on, because she needed somebody to remind her that she enjoys doing what she is doing, being an illustrator, to create art there. And you saw that at the very beginning of the episode. That was a nice little foreshadow to what was going to be talked about later in the show itself, which was nice as well to see that. So it's moments like this that I really love in regards to storytelling, where they show you things prior to the main topic that's going to be introduced a little later down the road in the same episode. And it's something that also you have to remember. This is Pokemon, and yet this was so not Pokemon, as weird as this sounds.
You got to remember that they're taking a slice of life approach, and we're seeing a prime example of that.
And it worked.
A slice of life approach that actually works.
And there was school. There was a legitimate school in this. And there was the garden with her watering the garden.
Yeah, fuck you, Sun and Moon.
Yeah, like
oh yeah, and then Suba, yes.
Yeah, little Suba Jr. you saw over there. But you know, it's things like this that really made me appreciate. Also, this scene right here, Satoshi and Go's conversation that they had. I really want to talk about this as well. I loved this bit because we see a side of Satoshi that we rarely get to see much from. And that was the moment when Koharu was like, listen, I'm going to be late. I can't see the Pokemon in the lab right now. I'll see you guys later. And Ash was noticing her and was like, hey, go. Is it a little odd that she's not really that interested in Pokemon? Or something like, I think he said something like that. Is she even interested in Pokemon to begin with? And Go replies like, hey, everybody has their own taste in Pokemon. Hell, even you and I, we're both different. And Ash replies,
that's right.
I guess, that makes sense. I love that bit. It felt so not Pokemon yet again, especially with Ash as a character, because you never really see him try to kind of go...
It's relatable.
Yeah, you never really see him try to also go in regards to looking at a character's overall character. He pointed out, hey, Koharu doesn't really seem to be so fascinated with Pokemon, and they had a bit of a talk about it prior to her getting into the school and whatnot, which, by the way, they straight up say it's a school too, and you see everything there as well. I love this episode, man. It was great. But I think the big thing I loved about this episode too is how this wasn't a developed episode for Koharu. It was more expanding her character as to what she is, because she didn't really develop. Like, she didn't really move forward. She didn't really gain anything out of this episode. It was more so... No, I'll explain. To me personally, what I felt this episode was the most was more so expanding her surroundings, because it manages to introduce to us her family, her little brother, her mother, her father, and it felt more of like development for them as they're being introduced to the show, because now you learn about Koharu's mother being an illustrator. You learn about the backstory behind her and Sakuragi. You also learn a little bit about Yamper. Like, she doesn't like suddenly love Pokemon. She doesn't love battling. She doesn't love catching. She doesn't really show any sign of movement at the end of the episode. It's just more so this is a step forward, and that they're going to sort of play around with this as we progress on with this series. But it doesn't straight out tell you, oh, now she loves Pokemon all of a sudden. No, it's just more she loves her Yamper now. And that's really it, because they point out at the beginning of the episode, she was pretty cold to Yamper. Like, she's the coldest to Yamper, and yet Yamper loves her. And yet you never really find out as to why. So that's what I mean. Like, it did more of a job in regards to introducing everything about her character without necessarily moving forward and kind of figuring out what's the next step for her. That's how I felt when I saw this episode. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. In fact, I absolutely appreciated it a lot. It really does wonders, because now it just opens up more questions to what Koharu is going to be as a character when we progress further into the series of Pocket Monsters 2019. So that's my take on the episode. I know there's the whole Gengar bit that we barely talked about with François the Magnemite and whatnot, which, by the way, is a pretty badass nickname. I love that guy's name already. But like, yeah, to me, Koharu's bit was my favorite thing about this episode, man. But that's all I gotta say on that. So I guess we pass this on to Tyrone then.
One more thing before I let that go. I just wanted to say that I'm gonna let Tyrone get on his piece, but the end of the episode still counts for me as character development.
Yes.
Like
I think so too.
Overall, yeah. Even though it was minute, it still is considered character development. And with that being said, I give the floor to Tyrone. Go ahead.
Okay, so episode 11, and you guys touched on a lot of what I want to say, but episode 11 is my favorite out of all of the Pocket Monsters episodes so far, only because episode 11 puts us into a situation in which Pokemon has always danced around this topic, but they never straight up like done anything about it. Or if they do, it's always been two things. One, it's been baby steps, or two, you'll go in Lily's direction, which is the complete opposite direction, slowly transitioning to where we are now. Or, and I guess if you look at May's situation, it was done, but then it was resolved so quickly that while it was proper development for May, it was done so fast it felt unrealistic to a real life situation. this episode pretty much brings the situation. What do you do when everybody around you is obsessed with Pokemon and you're not? The only other time I can think of when they actually tried to do this was in the movie Detective Pikachu, where everybody was obsessed with Pokemon. Obviously, everyone had a Pokemon partner, but Ted did not. But the reason of that being was because Ted's dreams were shattered at a young age. He didn't get to do this because his parents died. Well, his mother died. Here, we get a situation where Koharu's family is all about Pokemon, especially her father, which is Professor Sakuragi. So, because of her background, everybody in Vermilion City's high school or whatever, middle school or whatever it is, elementary, everybody in the school pretty much already feels like they had her goals have been drawn out. Like they've already been set in stone. And this episode pretty much teaches you that no matter where you're from, your goal isn't set in stone. Tim, sorry, I thought it was Ted. It's Tim. So one of the things I knew I was gonna like this episode started. We see Koharu's day start. We see her younger brother. We see her mother. We see her family just sitting down at the table eating breakfast. We see the Yamper's development where it only eats food from Koharu. All of that stuff. And then immediately Ash and Go show up and I'm like, oh yeah, these show got. I completely forgot about these guys. And because it almost felt like you could watch this whole thing and not involve Ash and Go at all. They're crucial characters in this episode, but the way it was set up, it felt like I was watching another anime that just happens to take place in the Pokemon universe.
This is like the spin-off that you were kind of hoping to see.
Right. It felt like another anime because everything happened slowly, but at the same time nothing felt like Koharu getting her hair done like we seen right here. The struggle to get out of bed, the breakfast, the Sakuragi talking, him being upset that he's the last one in Yamper's heart, everything sort of came out so gradually that it felt like I was watching a completely different anime and a well-written one at that. Where, it was just, you could take in everything. Nothing had to happen at a breakneck pace. Everything felt so comfortable. And then we actually get into the meat of the conflict, which is the Gengar situation. And yes, while Gengar's motives aren't known yet, they made sure to make it so that Gengar is going to be reoccurring. Hence him standing on top of the university.
And doing that Itachi pose.
Yeah, doing the Itachi pose. Ash and them saying, hey, maybe next time when we meet it, we'll try to catch it. Like, it's very clear that this isn't Gengar's last appearance. And every time we see him, we'll probably learn more about him. We'll learn his origin as to why he's even haunting this place in the first place.
Yeah, why just the lab? That's the thing.
Right. So it's keeping that for later. But for now, the only reason this plot really exists is to get Koharu openly involved with our heroes, with Ash and Go.
Yeah.
The rest of the meat of this episode, though, goes to the high school. I keep calling it the high school. It's because I'm so used to watching high school animes. The meat of this goes to the school where everybody is pointing out Koharu's goals before she even gets the chance to actually say something. Now, Koharu shows to be like, she's not like May, where she just didn't like Pokemon from the beginning. And she's not like Lily, where she's not like, she wasn't afraid of Pokemon. The thing about Koharu is that, like I said long time ago when we talked about her, I think she was just over it. Like, she was overwhelmed. She had so many people around her who love Pokemon. Ash and Go love Pokemon. Her best friend at this point, well, her childhood friend, is Go. And Go's crazy about Pokemon to the point where he prefers Pokemon over people, just in general. Then you got Professor Sakuragi. He studies Pokemon. You got his two assistants who also study Pokemon. Everybody around her is so fixated on the world of Pokemon. But Koharu isn't. She just wants to live her life, and she doesn't have a set goal in mind. It's everybody else that's pushing on her, which debatably is like a real life scenario. What do you do when everybody else is already kind of thinks they know you, but they don't? So when it plays around with that motif, it gives her a conflict. And KG, I understand you said this was a character introduction episode for Koharu. I think it has sprinkles of development. When her mom has to sit down with her and tells her, at that point, Koharu learns that nobody can decide your fate except you, and you don't need to rush it.
Yeah.
She learns that lesson in this episode.
Yeah, I think what I'm trying to say is more, I felt like this was a prologue to her character story.
Yeah, I think one of the things is that when we talk about the character turning out one way in an episode, and the character development episode happens, it almost changes who they are as a person, or it either changes or enhances a character from who they are as a person. Character development for somebody could be, oh, this character was mean to everybody at one point, but now they've lightened up. Lily was afraid of Pokemon, but now she's not afraid to touch Vulpix. Things like that, where one thing happened, something happened, and now they're at this point in their life. Here, we get character development in the sense that while she doesn't openly make any big changes, she has opened her mind up more and is able to smoothly transition to the next period of her growth. So here, she has more of an appreciation for Yamper, because at the beginning of the episode, she's cold towards Yamper. Yamper views her as the favorite of all the people, yet for some reason, she just sort of treats Yamper as like a Pokemon that just is there. Part of the family, just a prop, if you will, of the rest of the family members. While you have your family, you also have that. She doesn't pay too much attention to Yamper, but she doesn't neglect Yamper either. She treats Yamper, just like any person would treat a basic pet. But once her life is in danger and Yamper puts in the work, she understands that she has the ability to, guide a Pokemon to save other people and touch other people's lives. This doesn't introduce her necessarily into Pokemon battling, but what it does do is that it helps her learn what Pokemon are capable of and in the right hand. So I love the idea of that. One of the things that's also noticeable, Ash and Ghost, since I talked about them, they're important because Ash is so into Pokemon that it kind of is weird for him to be in an environment where someone isn't.
Yeah.
May states that she doesn't like Pokemon, but she never openly expresses that when she's around Ash. If anything, she's using Ash as a guide to help her travel. So that's why she's so excited when Ash agrees to travel with her. May's development when she stated that she doesn't like Pokemon is almost immediately taken down when she learns that she can benefit from them via the traveling and via the Pokemon contest. Here, Koharu more or less has the same feelings on Pokemon at the end of this episode. It's just that it's going to be some baby step developments towards her getting into the world of it, which is what I feel is very necessary. Some people get upset when character development takes really long, but in realistic standards, you can't change into a new person overnight.
Exactly. It's not going to be night and day for just this kind of character.
And I know we're on a ticking time bomb of 3 years, but at the same time, Koharu's development, while it is going to be very slow, I feel like it's going to be the most realistic development we've had in Pokemon history.
You also got to remember, this series also did an amazing job in world building.
Right.
Because now you're introduced to Koharu's life in this episode. What she does. Of course, she has her family. She goes to school, which is also another kind of interesting thing I kind of want to tackle upon, because I'm pretty confident, and they even pointed out she's 10 years old. So does she make the decision to either become a trainer at 10, or does she want to, you know what I mean?
Terrell actually does a review for this episode as well on his channel. Check that out. He asked that same question, and
you cut off there for a second.
Okay, so basically Terrell touches on the same thing, but he doesn't have an answer. Me, I made the theory that if a 10-year-old accepts their Pokemon license, if they get their license to be a trainer, they're exempt from classes. Like they don't have to. They don't have to go to school. That. Yeah, some people wait. Like, obviously, there was a kid that wanted to battle in the school, so that begs the question, why isn't he a trainer yet? My theory, he probably just wanted to wait. Like, if some people probably want to wait till they've got more schooling. Some people are afraid. Some people, their parents probably won't let them go on a journey until later, which theoretically, that makes a lot more sense.
Or maybe they have other goals in mind that don't necessarily fit the role of trainer. Because
I mean, hell, we've
that
already seen that Bianca's father didn't want her to travel at such a young age.
Yeah, and wanted her to go a different route instead. What I also like about it is that I assume that these characters in the show, they have like goals that they need to achieve, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they need to be trainers. It means like, let's say they want to be a construction worker. They don't necessarily need to be a trainer to learn about that, because you can basically do that with human, selves.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. You'll get assistance by Pokemon, and that's as far as that goes. But I think that's what they're trying to teach these kids, and I think that's what Koharu is trying to do, is she's trying to pursue a goal that doesn't necessarily need her to be a trainer, because she doesn't need it with whatever goal she's going to be pursuing. And the mystery regarding that is what's going to be the thing that will carry her character forward, and I'm excited.
Well, and one of the things I also do appreciate is the her mother and Professor as younger selves, the flashback. The reason I like this so much is because Koharu automatically jumps to the assumption, oh, it's because Dad that you decided to do illustrating, and she goes, no. And immediately then I knew this episode was going in the right direction, because they could have easily just been like, oh, I fell in love with your father and he inspired me to da-da-da-da-da-da. They could go the same route they went with, debatably, with Serena, where Ash pushes himself further. Thus, in theory, Serena pushed herself further, because Serena has admiration and infatuation for Ash. Here, what they decided to do is that even though it's somebody that Koharu's mother actually does care about and admire, which hence they grow a family later, it's not because of that. If anything, all he did was just enhance her already made desires to do something that she wanted to do. He supported her, but he didn't guide her. So I appreciate that layer of complexity that they put in there. They could have easily went she found somebody she cared about and they liked when she did it, so she pushed herself. But no, they did it. They made her her own character, and thus in turn allowed her to grow, and that in turn allowed her to give knowledge to Koharu so that she can grow. So each of the way each character interacts with each other felt more natural. Most of the time when we end up in situations with mother-daughter female protagonist, we end up with situations where, like May's parents more or less supported her after she made her goal, even when it was to switch, but it was so hollow. By the time she had already made the choice to become a Pokemon coordinator, they didn't have any conflict with her. It wasn't like pulling teeth for her to get her back. It just came off as a, well, whatever you do, sweet. So there was no layer of depth there. In Serena's case, when she wanted to be a Pokemon contestant rather than a ride-on racer, her mother actually had conflict with her. Like they had to figure it out, and they ended up racing each other in order to see if she was serious about what she wanted to do. Mm-hmm. So it allowed her to grow her character in the conflict. Here, what we get is that while she doesn't know what to do and she doesn't realize she likes Pokemon, her parents still support her on whatever decision she makes, but they're telling her what to base her decisions on, and it shouldn't be the decisions of others. It should be your decision alone, because you're still young and there's still time, but make sure that it's something that you like and not what others put on to you. So it's a completely greater message than the other two examples. One also, and I guess I can point out this too, the Slickoon Cascoon joke. That. Okay, so all three Wurmples evolve into Cascoon, by the way.
Yes.
And while that is funny and realistic, because what if you try to, he tried to cheat.
He tried the gotcha pulse.
Yeah, he tried to cheat the system, and he got ultimately failed. The problem with that, though, is I like the joke. While it is a nice joke, it kind of ruins his whole I want to catch every Pokemon in the world. Because it's like, well, now you're down an entire evolutionary. You'll never get Slickoon and Beautifly now.
Unless he goes back to Hoenn again.
So he's going to go back.
So
he's going to go back.
That's 2 times he has to go back. He has to go back to get Dragon, back to get Wurmples. It's like, at this point, your goal isn't looking too hot, bruh.
Oh, it actually is, because, well, he has, 23 now? 25?
I mean,
23?
yeah, he does, but do you guys really want to see episodes where he goes back to recaptures of stuff that I don't know. It just feels.
Well,
weird.
we could work plot into that and have that as a side plot. It works.
He's gonna get 100 Cascoons, man. That's
they'll probably.
That's the joke.
I hope they don't keep the running joke of him just getting Cascoon. Oh, that is funny. It ruins his whole. I want to catch every Pokemon.
No. I'm saying like he's gonna continue to catch other Pokemon, but it's gonna be like what happened off screen was that he ended up catching all these Wurmple while they were busy doing some other plot points. You know, like they don't necessarily need to focus on Go and what he's catching. They could make Ash do a plot. And then when Ash finishes his plot, he'll reunite with Go, and Go will be like, "Hey, I caught me a bunch of new Wurmple this time around. Let's hope for the best."
I like
this
the
time
idea Ty actually had too, where he could get Dustox, and when two of the Dustox end up falling in love with each other, they make an egg that hatches in a Wurmple. That Wurmple ends up making a Slickoon that evolves in a Beautifly.
Yeah, that actually would be pretty cool to see. Also, another thing to note before I forget, this was the first evolution in this series.
Yes.
Yes,
and Go even points out in this episode, saying, "Oh my God, I saw evolutions."
Well, it's a first evolution. It's a first evolution of a Pokemon that is owned.
Yeah, and he felt like he was like in some alternate dimension where he's just like in pure joy, man. So yeah, listen, if this is their, oh my God, what if he ends up becoming a breeder though? That would be hilarious. I would love that. But I don't think that's gonna be the point. I think the whole premise
Jordan, Satoshi did not own Dragonair at that point, so it doesn't count.
Yeah, he befriended Dragonair and then caught Dragonite.
Yeah.
So that was pretty much what happened.
But yeah, so as far as I'm concerned though, this episode was really mostly because of the atmosphere, the world building.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the atmosphere, the world building, and just how complex Koharu's character is. Because they could have easily just made her like, oh, she doesn't know what she wants to do now, but then a few episodes she'll have her. No, I feel like they're taking the babyest steps with her, but I feel like the payoff's going to be really good, only because her development, while it's not going to be the fastest, it's definitely the slowest. It's going to be the most realistic development I've ever seen involving someone like her, because with Lily, what they did, they went the completely opposite direction with Lily and then fast-paced it back to normal.
It took like 49 episodes, I think, for her to get back to normal.
Yeah.
I think so. But with Lily, what they did was that they made her completely afraid of Pokemon. And while that is fine, it doesn't necessarily, it's almost like a lazier way of her not wanting to interact with Pokemon. Because, well, at least compared to Koharu. Because then, at that point, it's like, oh, something happened in the past, and that event triggered all of these other things. Now she can't touch Pokemon, she can't be around them. It's extreme. Koharu's is so complex. She can get near Pokemon, she can touch them, she can interact with them. Her father studies Pokemon, everybody around her loves Pokemon. It's not the issue of her not being able to be close to Pokemon. Hell, she even worked out with them at one point. In one of the episodes. It's not that she can't be by them, she just doesn't know what she wants to do with them. If anything, she doesn't even know if she likes Pokemon or not, because yeah, she is involved with Pokemon at some points in her life, but that's because her family is. It's one of those moments where it's like people expect you to do something because your family did it. Well, your family doesn't define you, which is the message her mother said when she was talking about how she became an illustrator. Like, people who you're involved with or you're related to don't define who you are. You can still make your own complex person, even if people around you go in one direction. So I like that they did that with her. They could have easily, like I said, so she just follows the crowd, but she doesn't.
Yeah, like this episode, man, was just so good. There's just so many little points
Mime
in this
face.
episode.
Oh yeah, and Mr. Mime was hilarious.
Yeah, that face is never gonna go, and I'm all down for it, man. There was also Score Bunny the Hedgehog as well at one point. It's right here.
Oh yeah, gotta go fast.
So,
Well,
dude,
nice.
I can't wait for more Koharu focused episodes. I didn't think I was gonna actually enjoy her character a lot, but dude, this episode really did a great job.
Also, they made Gengar scary. Congratulations, good job.
Yeah.
Finally.
Because not only was he doing all that crazy stuff with the tree, those eyes, man.
Oh
Those
yeah,
eyes.
they give him the mime effect with Gengar's eyes.
Evie, you were
wanted to
gonna
say
say something, yeah.
Yeah, not you guys bringing up Koharu's development. just I think in general the development of not just Koharu but with some of these characters from what we've seen so far, it fleshes out so well with the pacing that this series is taking so far. So
Agreed.
yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm because we're already early into the series, it's putting up a really good impression on a lot of viewers.
It's better. It's a better beginning than Sun and Moon, that's for sure.
Definitely, and with this, it's definitely with this slice of life approach, taking a more realistic turn, in terms, and how they're going to implement that in their directionality of this series. I'm definitely looking forward to see what the writers have in store.
Yeah.
It's making me excited. Right. This is the first time since Diamond and Pearl that I've actually gave a fuck about the series without having to be bored about it.
Right, and I know Go stated that she wasn't always like that too. I wanted to touch on that really fast.
Go ahead.
So Koharu, obviously, as a child, when you're a child and people do stuff around you, obviously you might be more open to it because you're a child. You're younger, you're into the world, and ready to take on exciting experiences when they come. But as you grow, you start to really like wonder about yourself. And I know they're 10, but they're really taking like the teenage approach here.
Well,
Koharu,
even the mother points out too. It's like you're just 10. You don't need to think so hard.
She's just 10. But I could see that Koharu is developing a lot of things, and I can't speak for every female, obviously, but she's developing a lot of traits that I see most female teenagers go through, where it's like the same stuff that they like to do with their parents. You know how parents be like, "Sweetie, you used to always do this with us," and then she's like, "Yeah, but that was when I was little." Like, yeah, that's what happened. Essentially, it's not that she doesn't like them anymore. She just feels like she's grown up.
Which is kind of funny because at the beginning of the episode, the thing that woke her up was like, "Hey, I'm not going to braid your hair if you don't wake up." And then she starts flailing around like a little girl there. Which is really cute, by the way, because Wanpachi was also doing the same thing too.
Right. People gain complexity and different interests, and sometimes they lose interest, gain it. It's all a part of growing up. Things that you liked as a kid may not impress you anymore. Shows that you like to watch as a kid, you may not want to watch anymore. Sometimes you feel like you just outgrown something. And it's not even the fact that she feels like she's outgrown it. She just has grown up in a world where like different things mean different, have different priorities to her now. Pokemon is just not the top priority to her like it was when she was little, which makes sense. If anything, it's kind of realistic as to what happened with people. A lot of the friends were probably super into Pokemon when they were younger, and then as time passed, they stopped. That's a realistic thing that happened. So I love that. I mean, yeah, this picture right here actually is perfect. Usually, look at her. Look at how happy she is.
Yeah, when Pokemon's not in the picture.
Well, no, she's hugging Yamper.
No, I'm talking about this other one that's coming up.
Just like Sakuragi had that picture on his computer, I think.
No, that was in the
or was that a picture in the living room? Oh, the mother had that?
Yeah, in the laptop. You saw that. It's like a tablet, like kind of thing.
It's on but it's on the laptop. See, like it's showing there that when their daughter was young, she may have been mesmerized by all this stuff, but she's getting older. She's probably getting different interests, things like that. And that's kind of the situation I feel like it's in. And it's appropriate for Koharu of all characters because girls have been known to mature before boys do. That's just a scientific fact.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I like the realistic standpoint of this episode. Like everything about it screams dimension.
Yeah. Now, here's one little note I want to talk about regarding Koharu's mother, which is also a very cool detail I did not notice. But once again, I guess we're bringing back the world of continuity in this one. The VA for Koharu's mother, being of Yoshino, if I'm correct, is her name. The actual VA's name is Tomo Sakurai, who is a Japanese save for the Pokemon anime. Now, the thing is, she also did voice for one particular character that many grew up with during the DP era. Can you guess who it is?
Dawn? I'm just kidding. Dawn's mother? I'm just kidding, I don't know.
Answer? Oh, go
on. Well, I see her Japanese name, but I don't know the English name.
Well, the voices that she did back in the day was for Cynthia from Diamond and Pearl.
Yeah.
Shirona.
Yeah, Shirona, yeah.
Yep. So she did the voice for Cynthia back in the day. Now, a thing is, from what I'm reading here, is apparently she originally retired from voice acting a while back.
Yeah.
And I guess she came back this time around for voicing Yoshino, which I guess is maybe because of the different role than what she might be with.
And speaking of voice acting, I have my piece that we're going to talk about in the preview, but let's talk about more about the Gengar, because we pretty much undermined everything about the Gengar.
Well, it's not that we undermined it. It's just Gengar sort of shows up, but I feel like this isn't the last of them. So I feel like when he gets his own episode, but the penultimate battle of the episode involves Gengar, so we kind of have to do that. Yeah,
that's true.
Because we're dragging on, so I just wanted to get it to the
So go on ahead, buddy. You go on ahead for this one.
So finishing off, so basically we have Gengar terrorizing the laboratory, and at the end, when Yamper comes out and Sakuragi tries to command it, because Gengar basically has Satsuchin go up in like the psychokinesis stuff, the psychic stuff, and they're basically floating around in the air, and they're helpless, and then Sakuragi tells Yamper to use Spark. And doesn't work. And then he realizes, Koharu has to say Spark. Use Spark. And then she's very nervous about it. She doesn't know what to do. But then all of a sudden, she sees Satsuchin go up there. They're in trouble. They need help. So then she gathers up the courage to say, use Spark on Gengar. And that was game over, which was good. I mean, then it disappeared. But that was a real development. I guess so.
Yeah, I guess thinking about it, because it just punched the Gengar in the gut, and then it just flew away from that moment there.
Yeah.
Well, because I believe Pikachu's attacks were defending everybody else from other attacks. So
yes.
you never got the chance to get a direct hit on. Somebody answer that.
No, I was charging my phone, so. No.
So, no, I'm kidding. But so Pikachu never got the chance to get a direct hit on. Because I'm sure if he did, then Gengar would have been knocked the fuck out. But yeah, most of Pikachu's attacks were like Iron Tail to stop the Shadow Ball, Thunderbolt to block attacks and stuff like that. Pikachu never got a direct hit on Gengar. Yamper is the only Pokemon I think that actually hit Gengar.
Yes.
That's right.
No, Pikachu did electrocute it.
Oh.
Yeah, well, Pikachu then did use Thunderbolt on it, and then
so Yamper probably finished it up then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess, shall we go and talk a little bit about the preview for next episode?
Yes.
All right.
And before we begin, though, it is an Osamatsu-san reunion next week.
Which I was about to say, because I believe Jushimatsu?
Yeah. Jushimatsu is coming back. Daisuke Ono, who did Jushimatsu, is coming out as Dande, or freaking Leon.
Also, otherwise known for those JoJo fans out there, of course, you know who else but Jotaro himself.
Jotaro.
I'm going to say this real fast about the preview, just really fast, and because I know you guys are going to be talking for this one. I'm a little bugged that Ash is the one that had to. Now this is for the preview, obviously. I'm a little bugged that Ash had to ask what the Pokemon World Championships was, only because I saw the episode of Hoenn where him and Go went to the Battle Frontier tournament, and Ash knew about that before Go did. I feel like anything that involves battling, I wish Ash would know before Go. I'm a little bugged that Ash is like, the World Championships? What's that? Like, dude, you love Pokemon battles. Why would you know about this?
Because they'll probably tackle that topic when the episode actually airs. So you never know. I think it's more so the mere fact that it's two champions duking it out with each other. If anything, that caught him by off guard, you know?
And Wataru's original Seiyu is coming back, yes?
Yeah, I did say that in the as a disclosure. I was like, this is just a preview, so they're probably just saying that to hype you up.
Exactly. I think it's just more.
They probably knew. They probably might have known. It's just that they needed to say stuff for previews.
But finally, these previews are actually connecting to the plot of the episode instead of just being a one-off thing.
Yeah.
Now the question then is, wonder what voice Daisuke Ono's going to give to Leon. Is he going to give
Juicy
is
Matsu
he gonna
voice.
Juicy? Oh God, no. What I have to do is we have to get Sakuragi, because Sakuragi's Karamatsu, and then Jushimatsu, Daisuke Ono's voice, and then just gotta mesh those two together. Just gotta find a random. I just gotta go through like a random like Karamatsu Jushimatsu scene and put them together, and it's gonna be some great entertainment.
Indeed, man.
Yes.
But yeah, anyway, you guys want to go into this one a little bit?
Yes.
Just go in.
Yeah, go ahead. You guys take it away.
All right.
Yeah. So this preview coming up, it is probably one of the most anticipated episodes that it's going to come for the entire series, because they're going to go to Galar. They're going to go in there, and I cannot wait to see if Hayashi is going to remix the freaking gym battle theme. If he does that, he wins the world forever. He wins forever.
And
if
that's already a good
remix.
song. That's already a banger. So.
Yeah, how do you remix a banger? You get Yuki Hayashi.
Look. A Japanese always find some way to remix some badass songs.
Dude, if they put vocals on it though, it's a wrap. It's done. It's complete.
For those of you Smash players who haven't heard the Edge of Dawn remix for Smash Bros yet, then you will understand what to expect out of the Japanese people when it comes to music.
Oh my god, that song's perfect, man. I love it. But yeah, I'm excited for that. I'm also excited for the next episode after that, because that also means, given that we're going to be seeing Gigantamax battles go on, could a Max Raid battle song also be remixed too?
I just won Gen 7 music remix galore.
Yeah, and now we're finally going to be getting that in this two-parter. And once again, this kind of dives into what Pocket Monsters is when they've talked about this a while back regarding like two-parter episodes, if you remember that, where they don't intend to be in a place for too long, and they're going to bounce back, probably to Kanto after these two episodes here. Now, I've talked about this before, and we, for the longest time, given that it's been 12 weeks now, have kind of been questioning, what is that special encounter that Ash is supposed to be anticipating in this series? We got the answer in these two-parters that's coming up right now. It's going to be regarding Leon. And that is so cool, because they're replicating the video games with Ash this time around.
And the next question is, are we going to get Pika or P? That's the question. That's the question that's gonna be on people's minds for the next 2 weeks. Are we gonna get P or are we gonna get Pika?
Yeah, because I highly doubt they can just suddenly revert P to just, to Pika. Like, I assume if they're gonna show one, it's gonna be stuck as that one. You know what I mean? They can't just suddenly get Pikachu to suddenly evolve into Fat Pikachu if it's been original Pikachu.
Based on the games, Gigantamaxing is in the Pokemon DNA. So if a Pokemon can Gigantamax, it will not. Obviously, that's what it does. It doesn't Dynamax, it Gigantamax.
Well, the thing.
Go on, Evie.
Well, actually, I don't think this point would be relevant. But
go ahead, say it
I
anyway.
don't think. All right. So, it wouldn't surprise me if somehow Pikachu gets the power to Gigantamax into P form. The point that I was going to bring up was that I think Pokemon have done this various times, where a Pokemon has been caught in a previous generation, where on the next generation it evolves into a new form. Famous example I could come up with is Apom catching the Hoenn region and evolving to Ambipom in the Sinnoh region.
So you think it's possible they could do that with evolving just regular Dynamax Pikachu to Gigantamax Pikachu?
You've also got to think about the promotion for Sword and Shield. So
that is true. Fat Pika is loved, man.
With that being said, though, this Pikachu guy, this Pikachu is not only tackle, which is a situational, that's situational. Not every Pichu is gonna have Volt Tackle. It has to have a light ball thing first. So the Pichu somehow, as a Pichu, this thing could use Volt Tackle, but it just took till it was a Pikachu to grow up and learn it. It also has its own exclusive Z crystals. Ash's Pikachu, by the way, has its own exclusive Z crystal. And it can Gigantamax? Okay.
Maybe Ash's Pikachu
Well,
is the only one who can go pee.
That could be the case. So
That could be the case.
I'm just saying, like, don't be surprised if Pikachu could all of a sudden Gigantamax into its Gigantamax form. The fat Chew, yeah.
The fat, yeah.
Now,
Come on, we got Meltachew. Let's get Fatachew.
I think the only reason they would do that too is just to do a callback to when Pikachu was actually fat in the anime.
Yeah,
Me personally,
Pikachu, you gained weight.
me personally, I was thinking that they'll probably do just regular Dynamax Pikachu, only because they've been pushing Pikachu to be skinnier and skinnier as time's been passing. So I don't know. They could go that route,
but it's a game thing, so
yeah, that's the game thing.
Yeah.
The anime does its best to keep consistency.
that means at some point they got to show Eevee as a Gigantamax.
yes.
Well, we do see Eevee in the poster up in front, so I mean, maybe Ash could get Eevee and then never evolve it, so it could be Fat Eevee.
I feel like, well, I don't know. This show, when it comes to Eevee, they always give it to another main character. So
to be fair, Dragonite was also another example, and look at that was the first.
Yeah,
chapter.
but Eevee's a special case. Eevee's a secondary mascot, and they always give it to one of Ash's friends so that they can show off.
Who would it even be though?
Go.
Yeah, just be Go. Yeah.
You're telling me Go's just gonna yeet that thing to the lab and that's it?
No.
I don't think so. No. I think the way it works is that
I feel like what Go's doing now, he's catching Poke. Sorry, go ahead, Eevee.
my bad. I'm just going to quickly point this out, but if Ash is going to have a Gigantamax Pokemon, why can't go with Eevee? I feel
like Go's gonna catch like a bunch of Pokemon and put them in the lab, but I still feel like there's gonna be a handful that he just keeps on him.
Or maybe the Pokemon want to be with him or something.
Yeah, like Eevee doesn't. Maybe Eevee, when Eevee's in the lab, they might do it lab to be out with Go and Scorbunny and stuff.
Yeah, because eventually there's gonna come that point where Go's gonna have to start not using his Pokeballs all the time and actually start battling them.
Yes, and that's another plot point that we're gonna get into, and that's what I really love about the series, because now we're setting up all the different characters' plot points, and now we're finally going to get some sort of continuation, because Satoshi has continuation too. So I think they're going at a pretty decent pace. It's not like Sun and Moon where it took them like 30-something episodes to figure out what the fuck they wanted to do. I think already all their paths are defined. I think now it's just a waiting game to see how the things play out.
Yeah, now we're just waiting for Ash, because he's the last one that needs to get a story. Because they focused a lot on Go these past few episodes, and now coming into the previous episode, Ash's story has started to kick in with a mix of Koharu in between. Because now you have Ash and then Koharu, and then 2 episodes with Ash here. The upcoming one, and then the one after that. Now the thing is
a Dreadnought.
Yeah, which also has Dreadnought in there, as I was going to point out. And another thing too, we know this is going to be a big deal, because if Ash's Pikachu can Dynamax, and if Ash is somehow able to command that Pokemon without the need of the ring with him, I'm curious as to how he intends to get hands on the actual, the attachment, the wrist thing.
The band, maybe he gets it.
Yeah, they probably give it to him. Probably Professor Magnolia probably gives it to him after they.
So you're telling me Magnolia is going to be introduced in this episode too?
Well, probably not right. They're not going to shove all that shit in one episode. I feel like what they're going to do, since the Dynamax phenomenon is in the game, spoiler for those who haven't beaten Sword and Shield, what it does is that it'll take random Pokemon and they just start to Dynamax. They just Dynamax out of pure nowhere. I feel like what's going to happen, Ash's Pikachu will do it. It'll Gigantamax. Ash will calm it down. It will turn back to normal. And then when they go back to Galar to research it, Professor Sagaragi's like, hey, I researched what happened to your Pikachu. I got in contact with this old friend of mine. Her name is Magnolia. Go see her at the lab, and then we'll be able to figure out what's going on with your Pikachu.
And they did tease her a bit in their first trip to Galar, if I recall correctly. They did show her in the phone. So it is possible that was a little hint for what's going to be going down. Now, I'm kind of curious because, okay, we're doing this. What is Ash's real goal? I'm really looking forward to it. We know his goal is to become the strongest trainer in this series. And that's also because thanks to Leon being considered the strongest trainer, Ash now needs to find a way to surpass what what Leon has established in the show. And I'm so excited for that because now, thanks to the events of Sun and Moon, honestly, anything can go with this series. And that right there is what's super exciting. Like, I was mentioning this a while back, these past few weeks. I said I've just been in here for the ride. I haven't really been feeling like too excited and whatnot. Because, like, the episodes were fun to watch on their own, but there wasn't necessarily anything for me to kind of latch onto. Now, thanks to just 13 episodes alone, we are going to be establishing a very interesting thing for Ash as a character, because now they're introducing a new side to his story, because he's already become a champion. What's the next step that they could take for his character? And that is this that they're going to achieve here. And that in itself is going to be something that I feel will reignite a lot of fans, enjoyment with this series, because it's going to be like, now we know Ash is going to try to aim for becoming the strongest trainer. He's already achieving that with catching a Dragonite. What's next for him in the series of Pocket Monsters 2019?
I'm just excited.
Yeah,
I'm just excited to see Red Gyarados versus the Gigantamax Charizard.
Yeah.
And man, the Gigantamax Charizard looks crisp.
Oh, yeah.
That animation there.
Also, nice little detail there. I'm very happy that for Lance, they used his Heart Gold Soul Silver design, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah, that is good. I like that design.
That's great. And secondly, I'm wondering if that Red Gyarados will be able to Mega Evolve. Because that would be a nice little showdown between Mega Evolution and Dynamax, don't you think?
Wow,
I think it's just going to Dynamax. I think it's just Dynamaxing.
No. Leon will Dynamax. But what will Lance
They're both
do?
Dynamaxing.
They're gonna probably both Dynamax.
You can see the purple lines around the Gyarados. It's already Dynamaxed. It's about to use Max Gazer on the trailer.
Really? No, I did not actually see that bit there.
Yeah, it's about to use Max Gazer. And Charizard, I like that Leon's smart. He didn't use Max
Okay, because probably I was just more...
Max Wyvern.
I think what might have happened is that I might have just been happy at the mere fact that the Red Gyarados is back. I didn't actually notice the little purple aura that surrounded the Red Gyarados. So maybe that's going to be the case.
Which, by the way, there's 2 Red Gyarados. Lysanders can Mega Evolve.
Yeah, so I guess there's that. But I'm kind of curious what they're going to do. I really would hope that later in the future of Pocket Monsters, they kind of like mesh the various elements. Because they exist in the anime world. While they may not exist in the video games, they exist in the anime world. So let's see if maybe we could see some, Z-move showdowns, which I have in the Alola region, to be exact. Because you can't really bring it anywhere else. I feel like that's going to be stuck in Alola. Mega Evolution feels like a universal kind of thing where they can bring it anywhere. But, like, I hope we get to see some nice combos here that I don't think we'll ever see. And I think that's what's so great about the anime. They can pull these things off that the games cannot achieve. Like Lance versus Leon. Who the hell would have seen that coming, right? In 12 episodes, mind you.
Exactly.
So, yeah. Once again, Pocket Monsters 2019 really doing a great job in exciting fans, and let's hope that it does a good job in its storytelling for that episode and the one coming soon after.
Yes.
And anything else you guys want to say before we go wrap things up for tonight?
Nope. It's gonna be absolutely fantastic, and I cannot wait.
Yeah.
Yep, we're gonna be in for a good few weeks.
The Super Bowl's over, but the real event's happening.
The Galar Ball. Or
XFL.
Now, somebody says, please continuity for Ash and Lance. Well, maybe they might do it. If they're not, at least we do know one thing. The people who are working on this show know continuity for the voice acting side, and they're doing a really solid job on that front there. For Piplup they did, for Krogan they did, they're doing for Lance here. So there you go. You got your little sprinkles spread out throughout the series. So let's see where things go for Pocket Monsters 2019. But now, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you guys so much for being with us here tonight. We had an absolute blast talking with you guys about the recent episode of Pocket Monsters 2019, the preview, the events that happened throughout this week, such as the Mythical and all that kind of jazz. If you guys have and want to support us here in this channel, make sure to follow us here, as well as hit that subscribe as well if you can, with Twitch Prime or whatnot, whatever you got on you. Always helps and supports the channel out. Make sure to go and follow these guys as well over on their various Twitters, which should be in the friend segment down below. So make sure to go give that a look-see. And anything else that I'm missing, I think we're pretty much good to go. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not sure what's going to happen for tomorrow. I haven't really dabbled on that yet. So I'll probably let you guys know on Twitter regarding where that's gonna go for tomorrow. But until then, though, we hope you guys had, of course, a very awesome day, and we will be seeing you guys real soon in whatever video we make. Take care, and as always, until the next time, take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
This is the XFL.